Question 25a. What we can do is cancel down 1y from the top and 1y from the bottom, 1x from the top and 1x from the bottom. So what we have then is 3 times 2, 6 on the top, x, y cubed on the bottom. Now, what we want to do is to change divide to multiply and turn the second fraction upside down. So what we can do now is cancel out 1x from the bottom and 1 from the top. 3 goes into 6 2 times and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So what do I have left? I have 3x y squared on top and 2 on the bottom. We are told that the radius is 25 and that the length of AB is 48, so I can split the 48 into 2. Now, this is a Pythagoras question. We have to understand that that's a 90-degree angle, and what we want to do is to work out the length of CM. So it's a shorter side in the Pythagoras calculation. CM squared equals 25 squared minus 24 squared. 625 minus 576, and CM is the square root of 49, which is 7. The length of MT. Now if you look at the diagram carefully, I hope you'll agree that CT is a radius, and we already know that the radius is 25 centimetres. We've just worked out that CM is 7 centimetres, so MT is CT minus CM. 25 take away 7 is 18 centimetres. Angle CBM is this angle in here. Now, let's just use the, what we're going to do is to use the 24 and the 25. So the 24 is the adjacent side and the 25 is the hypotenuse. We can in fact use any one of the 3 trig ratios. So cos of x equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and that's 24 over 25. Now, trying to calculate the angle, we must use the shift button. So it's cos to the minus 1 of 24 over 25, and that equals 16.26 degrees. Question 27a, we have a difference of 2 squares here. 2x all squared is equal to 4x squared. Now we can go to the double brackets, so it's going to be 2x and 2x, 3 and 3, and different signs. Plus and minus are minus and plus. X squared plus 7x plus 10, factors of 10, 10 and 1, and 2 and 5. The factors of 10 that make up a 7 when we add them are 2 and 5. So x and x, 5 and 2. This is a plus, that means the signs are the same. This is a plus, that means that the signs are both positive. We have another trinomial here. Factors of 3 are 3 and 1. Factors of 4 are 4 and 1 and 2 and 2. I want to be able to get an 11. So I'm going to take 3 and 1 from the first lot of factors, and I'm going to take 4 and 1 but I'll arrange them as 1 and 4. So 3 times 4 is 12, 1 times 1 is 1, from a 12 and a 1 I can get an 11. So 3x and 1x. 1 and 4. Now I want to get a negative 11, so the 12 is going to be negative. The 12 is formed when the 3x multiplies the minus 4, and we know this negative in this position means the signs in the brackets are different, so that will be a positive. Part D, first thing we should always look for is a common factor. You can take out 3 as a common factor, and that leaves us with a difference of 2 squares. Final question, it's a trinomial. What we want to do is to find the factors of 16 and the factors of 9. 16 is 16 and 1, 8 and 2, 4 and 4. 9 is 9 and 1, and 3 and 3. We want to be able to get the 24. Well, I know what's going to happen. We're going to take the 4 and the 4, which multiply to make up 16, and the 3 and the 3, which multiply to make up 9. Now 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 times 3 is 12. From a 12 and a 12 I can get a 24, which is the middle term. So 4x and 4x, 3 and 3. This sign is a positive, which means the signs in the brackets are the same. This is a positive, which means the signs are both positive. Some work with surds. We want p over q. So it's 3 root 2 over 3 root 5. Now, what we can do is cancel out the 3's, and that leaves us with root 2 over root 5. We have to leave the answer with a rational denominator, which means we have to get rid of the surd. Now the easiest thing to do to get rid of the root 5 is to multiply top and bottom by root 5. What does that give us? It gives us root 2 times root 5 is root 10 on top. Root 5 times root 5 is root 25. Or we could just state that. We could just go straight to the last line. Root 10 over 5. Q over P, so 3 root 5 over 3 root 2. We can cancel out the 3's again, and that leaves us with root 5 over root 2. This time we're going to multiply by root 2 and root 2. That gives us root 10 on top and root 4 on bottom, which we can write as root 10, the square root of 4 is 2. P minus Q over P. P has the value 3 root 2, and Q has the value 3 root 5, and it's 3 root 2 on the bottom. Now, what we can do is take out 3 as a common factor. And the 3's will then cancel. So I've got root 2 on top, minus root 5 over root 2. What I'm going to do is to multiply top and bottom. I'm going to put a bracket around these terms first, and then multiply top and bottom by root 2. So what does that mean? Well, I've got this root 2 multiplying this root 2, that gives me root 4. Root 2 times root 5 is root 10. And root 2 times root 2 is root 4. We know that the square root of 4 is 2. And there's our final answer. So we want to work out the equation of the line, work out the gradient first of all. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 7 take away 2 over 10 take away 0. 5 over 10 is 1/2. Now that's the gradient. We also know that the y-intercept is 2. That's where the line cuts the y-axis. So c equals 2. Y equals mx plus c. Y equals 2x, I beg your pardon. Y equals 1/2 x plus 2. So we'll work out the gradient of this line. I'm not going to write down the formula. y2 minus y1, so I'm going to have 0 take away 5, 10 take away 0. That gives me minus 5 over 10, which is minus 1/2. I'm sure you can see the line is sloping down, and so the gradient is negative. Here is the y-intercept. So c equals 5. Standard form for the equation of a straight line, y equals mx plus c. But we're going to have to change, because instead of y we've got p, and instead of x we've got t. P equals negative 1/2 t plus 5. Question 30, here's our frequency table. We've got a cumulative frequency column. So we have to complete the cumulative frequency column. Well, the first number is going to be 2. Now 2 plus 4 gives us 6. 6 plus 5 gives us 11. 11 plus 7 is 18. 18 plus 8 is 26. 26 plus 4 is 30. And then 30 plus 1 is 31. And 31 plus 1 is 32. So a total of 32 pieces of data. So we've done part A, we've completed the cumulative frequency column. Part B, how many geranium plants did Bernard have? A total of 32. Part C. Now, you've got 32 pieces of data. 32 is an even number. 32 divided by 2 is 16. So if you can imagine the data organised like so, we've got one block of 16 and a second block of 16, and right in the middle of those two is Q2, the median, halfway between the 16th and 17th pieces of data. Now, the 11th piece of data is a 3. The 16th and 17th pieces of data can be found in this group here. And so the median then, Q2, is 4. If we look at this arrangement here, we want to work out Q1 and Q2. Well, I'm going to split the 16 into an 8 and an 8, and this 16 into an 8 and an 8. So 8, 8, 8, and 8. Q1 is in this position here, between the 8th and the 9th pieces of data, and Q3 is between the 24th and 25th pieces of data. So between the 8th and the 9th pieces of data, now I hope you can see the 6th piece of data is a 2, and so the 8th and the 9th can be found in this group here, which is to say 8th and 9th are both 3. So Q1 then equals 3. And Q3, so between the 24th and 25th, well, the 18th piece of data is a 4, and so the 25th, 24th and 25th must be in this group here. That means they're both 5, and so between the 24th and 25th we have the value 5. Part D asks us to draw a dot plot to illustrate the data. What we need is the lowest value, which is 1, and the highest value, which is an 8. Now if I draw a number line like so, and I mark off different values, so we could have so 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 and 10. The smallest value is a 1. We've then got the highest value is an 8. We've got values at 3, 4 and 5, so I'm going to vertical line at 3 and 4 and 5. Now, the box plot, the middle part is the box, and there we have the box joined to the highest and lowest values, and that's our box plot. I suppose we should perhaps have a title. So that title might be something like flowers.